everybody. I am so excited to be here with you today in the Podcast Babes IG Live series. I cannot wait to have this interview today. I have an amazing guest who has been part of what we have been creating, the Podcast Babes Anthology. Yes, we've been working really hard to bring to you a book that has meaning, a book that has impact, and tonight I am going to interview 3 of the most amazing authors. So get ready for my first guest. Let me find her. Here she is. On. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Hi everybody. Here she is. Let's try again. Let's get this guest connected. I cannot wait to hear all about how she has been creating and pouring into this chapter that we have all been creating together, this book. Hey, I see everybody. Thank you for joining live with us today. Hi, Nadine. So happy to have you here. All right, let's try this way. Sometimes Instagram is super simple and sometimes it's a little temperamental. Let's try it that way. Let's see if that worked. Unable to join. All right, let's try one more time. We tech checked this yesterday, just so you know. This happens all the time though, but we will get it together. Let's try one more time. There we go.
Hello. Hi. You could see me, right?
Love. So here we have one of our authors who wrote one of such an amazing chapter, Yayoi Komiyama. And I am so excited to hear about you and your chapter. Tell me. So let's just dive right in and get into the nice, juicy nitty gritty. So our chapters are all about turning pain into power. So I want to know when were one of the moments where you can literally feel your pain like turning into power? Can you describe one of those moments for us?
Yeah, it was pretty early on. And I guess it was when I was in my eating binge, point. And I felt like a sausage casing that was just about to burst. You know, when you boil sausage and that case just burst? I felt like that was what's gonna happen. I was just gonna split out of my clothes and all of that, kind of like the Hulk when it goes. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. And I was almost in tears because I was full and I kind of like was desperate. I had no hope anymore. And I'm like, I got to do something. And I was like, you know what? I have to go back to, Weight Watchers. I shouldn't say that, but that's where I went and to get help. I realized I have to get help. And that was when really the pain just turned to power because I realized I have to do something or else I'm going to be stuck in that deep, dark place.
I love that that's what your chapter is about. And I can relate to that so much because I myself am a stress eater. And no, let's cancel, clear, delete. I used to be a stress eater.
Yes.
I used to be a stress eater. And I really took back my power this year since March and really kind of had to reframe everything for myself and do some neuroencoding, some NLP, and really mind hack myself and create the proper rules and structure. And I think it's so important to talk about these things, right? That's part of like what our book is about, is like really revealing those inner moments because sometimes we think that like we're the only one, or we can look around and say like nobody experiences the way I do, or we have all this internal dialogue, not recognizing that often those things are so universal, and the more that we talk about them and the more that we bring them to light, the more that we can help other people
Yeah.
get through it, and get through it faster, right? Further, faster.
Yes.
Yeah. So you felt that moment where you were turning your pain into your power. Now, when you were writing about that, did you have any resistance, like really putting that on the page and giving your voice to that?
Oh, definitely. Well, first of all, it was like, you know, I procrastinate a lot to begin with. So, and especially if it's something that I really feel uncomfortable about. And I was definitely like procrastinating, and I was like, I don't know if I can do this. And then I just kind of like, the first draft is, they say like your vomit draft where you just, write out everything. So I wrote out everything, and then it was like from there I had to go through and edit and figure out, what I really wanted to say. Yeah.
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 I
So definitely resistance for sure. Yeah.
I didn't write my chapter about that, but I remember I shared one time on Instagram. I had gotten some like this diagnosis, and then I realized within that how much of an emotional eater that I am. And I had like, there were these little caramels that were a Christmas gift, right? And you know how when the Christmas gifts come, they have like all the different kinds. So it's not just like little bits of caramels. There's like a whole package of different kinds and different
Oh yeah.
flavors. I ended up eating like the whole thing. And this had been like a pattern for me, right? Eating the whole sleeve of cookies, eating the whole thing of caramels.
Yes.
And I made a post on Instagram about it. And I did it because I wanted to kind of like move through it. And I kind of figured if I, like you're saying, vomited it out there would be some kind of like form of accountability that I would have to take in my mind, because now I put it out there in the universe.
Yep.
Do you
Totally
feel
agree.
like that? Do you feel like that it was like this has kind of been like therapeutic to like get on the page and like put it out there after all said and done?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because I've talked about it a lot on different podcasts and stuff like that. But actually writing it and knowing that it's going to be read by people, it was very therapeutic because I felt the pain, but then it also helped me to remember that, I went through this. I got through this. I went out the other end, glorious, right? Victorious. So, that gave me a lot of courage as well. And just to remember that, my story was not just going down, but it went up, right?
Yes, I love that. I think that that's what I noticed from writing my chapter too. It's like you look back and you say like, wow, like I made it through that. I actually really made it through that. Like wonderful. And I think that's what what I really want this book to stand for other women, right? Like to see how people went through this, but they've been able to get to the other side.
Yeah,
And that really has shifted something for me inside, the way that I've been kind of carrying myself and the way I've been showing up for others. Have you felt that shift, or is there anything for you? Have you been showing up for yourself differently or for others differently in this new experience?
definitely. I mean, with any experience, this was kind of like, um, gosh, doing an intake of yourself, right? Going through what you've gone through. It was like a review of what you've gone through. And it made me realize that, hey, I've gone through a lot, and give myself credit for everything that I've done, but also it made me feel stronger. And I think it helped me to see that my relationship with myself, I feel like more of a, lately I've been talking with some other friends and people, but that I feel like that I'm the sovereign of my own queendom, right? And to walk in it, I'm very much anime person, and I was thinking lately, K-pop Demon Hunters is very popular, and that soundtrack is like always going in my head. But I really resonated with that because I felt like, I don't have to hide anymore, really. I can be who I am, and no one's going to give a crap about it, right? And I'm not going to give a crap about it because I am who I am, and it shouldn't matter. And I think that's changed who I am. I'm walking straighter. I'm walking taller. Like when I'm walking my dog, I'm like, hey, I'm in my own domain. I'm a sovereign of my queendom, things like that. And that gives me more power. And those are like the incantations that I do and stuff. So totally works.
Excellent. So tell us more about the incantations. I love that you're saying you do incantations.
Oh, yeah.
Is that a tip that maybe you can give us for someone who maybe is listening to this and like, wait a minute, I can stress overeat and I have similar experiences. Is that something that you maybe could tell us a little bit about?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Because identity is so strong that I've learned about I am statements and incantations from Tony Robbins and from Joseph McClendon. And the power of knowing who you are and the power of a statement after I am is so powerful. And when I go out I have a dog, so I walk my dog every morning. And when I'm doing that, I'm doing my incantation saying, I am, and I have this whole big thing that I say. But it makes me feel powerful. It puts it in my brain. It puts it in my body.
Yeah.
And I think it's just so important to do that. That's one of my daily rituals. Also, when I get up in the morning, I do a V stretch. I go like this and I say, victory, the day's going to be victorious.
That's beautiful. That's a really good one. I love the I am statements, and we hear about a lot about affirmations, and it's true about I am. Research actually was done that those are the two most powerful words in language is I am because of that. Because of the anything that follows, we start to absorb as our identity. So there really is a science behind it. And I love the victory stretch. That's such a great way to start your morning.
Yeah.
I heard you say about how you're standing taller because it's like you're putting things out there and now you can be fully yourself and you're not hiding. I too had a similar experience. For me, it kind of felt like that movie 8 Mile, right? Where Eminem is going rapping against this guy and he kind of like let all the stuff out before the guy could talk back right to him. So when the person that he was battling with was ready to battle with him, he had nothing to say because Eminem had already said all the things about himself. And for me, that's kind of what my chapter was about because there was this piece of my chapter where it was like, okay, this is something that I really haven't talked about like publicly. Like for a while it was like felt almost shameful that like somebody who had it all together now it has like this piece there that was really a dark place. And so I can totally relate to standing taller because of it, right? And feeling proud of like the fact that you got through it. So I'm so happy that you can feel that way. And I'm wanting the women who read this book and who watch these lives to feel that way, right? Like own the good, the bad, the ugly, because it's all you and you can't hate the chapters that shaped you, that shaped who you are. Embrace those things, right? So
Exactly.
for you, now that your chapter is going to be out there in the world, like what are you hoping the people who are listening to this and the people who are going to read your chapter, what are you hoping that they will do next with what they read in your story?
Wow. If they could even take that one messy step forward, I would be grateful. I mean, I would just be happy because like Tony says, that 2 millimeter shift can make a big difference, right?
Yes,
Yeah. So I'm hoping that it will put them on that journey to healing.
absolutely. Taking that one next step. If you don't know what to do next, just take that one little step. Just think what would be the one next little baby step that I can take.
I would say create an I am powerful, I am statement, like I am healthy, or even doing the victory pose every morning.
I love that. And those are such simple things that we can embrace into our routine. It's so nice and simple. And with those rituals that you're saying, were there any new rituals that you kind of came about? Like anything new that came when you were writing your chapter? Anything that you did to get you in the zone of writing, or anything that kind of stood out and now I'm gonna keep doing this for the rest of my days?
Yes, well, like I said, I'm really hooked on K-pop Demon Hunters right now. So that's the soundtrack I'm listening to. And what I do is I just put it on and I'm just dancing around because, like Tony says and Joseph says, you have to embody it into you. And that really helped me to say, hey, I got this. I'm doing this.
I love that. I love that so much. Thank you so much, Yayoi. This has been so much fun. Everybody, if you want to get our book, you want to join our book launch, which is going to be October 18th. The registration is in the link in our bio, where you're going to hear more from Yayoi. You're going to hear more from all the beautiful babes who poured their heart into their chapters, who really cracked themselves wide open to be vulnerable and take you through their journey of pain into power so that you can have power too. So don't miss it. And stay tuned, because right here next, we're going to have another one of the authors, and we're going to keep on diving deeper and teaching you how to turn your pain into power, baby. Thank you so much, Yayoi. It's been
Thank
such a
you.
pleasure. Mwah, mwah,
Bye.
mwah, mwah. See you guys later.